What made you choose to do Curious instead of Dogma Time?
I chose the show because I had seen what they did on Broadway and it just seemed so interesting. I had not read the book, and so like once I figured out if I always choose something like depending on if I can expand the cast. Lots of plays are written for really small casts and predominantly men, and so once I like sort of look at the casting. And if it's expandable, then I like really get into researching the show. I read the play very easily. Like the writing is so easy to like get into. And then I read the novel and I was just like completely in love with this story. I also was eager to challenge this group of kids because we just haven't been on the stage in so long. And so it's like, we have to be passionate about the project. I also like, if I'm passionate about it, I have to be passionate about it, right? Like we're gonna work on it for 3 months. And so like it's contagious. Like if I'm passionate about it, I can typically like get my kids to get on board. And so that was really easy with this show.
And what would you say is like your favorite part about the play?
I think my favorite part about the play is seeing kids so completely vulnerable on stage. I mean, everyone. Because the ensemble, a part of their direction is when Christopher feels something super deeply, they also feel it super deeply. And it's so interesting. Like every night I sort of choose different people to watch now that I've seen it so many times. And it's so interesting to see their choices and how different they are from the person next to them as they're all like empathizing with Christopher and like the things that upset him or confuse him or whatever it is. And so that's been really cool.
And was the casting process hard?
Casting is always hard. Casting is like the worst part of my job. I don't mind doing it. Of course, it's a part of the business, but I don't like to break hearts. And I see kids like making really bold choices and and then I see how hard they work and how much they try, and so then it's just like, I guess it's just me not wanting to break anybody's heart. But no, casting wasn't hard. The group that I tend to have, they're so smart, they work so hard, and I think as long as you give kids like, this is what I need you to do, they're gonna rise to the occasion. And so yes and no.
And like, how has it been to see everyone back together and working again?
Unbelievable. The only thing I feel is different than years past, besides last year, of course, is that we're wearing a mask. Like everything else feels the same. I mean, we've taken additional precautions just to make sure we're not like eating inside together and things like that. But like all of our traditions are back, and those traditions mean a lot to all of us. And so many kids are having like their first experiences on our stage. And that's been really special because a lot of like even our juniors, their first show was outside. And so being able to do a show inside has been amazing. And it was intimidating, to kind of get back into things. I haven't done it in 2 years, thinking about ticket sales, thinking about promoting and, taking care of our audience with that added layer of safety. Making sure all my guests have their masks on the whole time, and the kids, and that's a little daunting, but it's magical. It's magical to be back. I mean, we have a tradition that opening night, we have a dance party on the stage in costume with full lights, and just like, we go crazy like it's 5 minutes of prom. And that was when I was just like, we're back, and it feels good.
And do you feel like the story is like really impactful?
I do. I don't think it's a story that we see ever. It doesn't specifically say Christopher's diagnosis, but just the fact that he sees the world and feels the world so differently, and that we are able to be like inside his mind, I think is really impactful. I have really seen a lot of parents impacted. Either because they relate, or they relate because of their children, or they relate because of whatever reason, just because it is very real, and it's contemporary, and so like they can literally see themselves or something they know on stage. So I definitely, I know it's impactful. Like we're hearing sniffling, and people are getting emotional about the story. So you always know you're doing something right when people are crying.